Hello and welcome back to First Friday 5s here on Go Big Bore or Go Home, where recoil is required. I'm your host Sean, and this month we're going to talk about what big bore handgun cartridges are good for hunting medium-sized game. I will openly admit that I am not an active hunter at the time of this video being released, so I had to gather a lot of data from books on handgun hunting, and I spent a lot of time talking to experienced hunters and custom gunsmiths who can make and modify revolvers for this specific purpose. And keep in mind, I will be doing a separate list for large game too. Since this is a very subjective list, the chosen cartridges will be in order of what cartridge I would pick if I were going to go on a hunting trip. The cartridges have to be able to take hogs, deer, and antelope, and will be rated by firearm availability, ammunition and/or reloading component availability, and how easy it would be to take a firearm chambered in this cartridge into the field. With those rules set, let's get to the list. Number 5. The 45 Colt Plus P. Here's a choice that many may find surprising, but really shouldn't. While the original loadings for this cartridge have decent power, shooting a 255 grain bullet at 1,000 feet per second, it's the so-called Ruger-only loads that really make this cartridge a potent hunting companion. Standard SAMI specs limit chamber pressure to an anemic 14,000 pounds per square inch, but the more robust loadings go all the way up to 30,000 pounds per square inch and provide ample power for medium-sized game. With those specs, you can get a 300 grain bullet to head towards your quarry at 1,325 feet per second. You'll need to make sure your firearm is tough enough for these loadings though, as most 45 Colt revolvers are built around SAMI spec pressures. That means you'll want to use Ruger revolvers built for that pressure, revolvers built to shoot the .454 Casull, or revolvers that have been customized to handle the hot stuff. And that will narrow the field of options. The good news is that all of those options are reasonably sized to carry all day while you're out on the trail. The main reason this cartridge ends up last for me is that you need to be very certain of your revolver's ability to digest the ammunition, which you'll also have to look carefully for or load yourself. While they're called Ruger-only loads in most reloading manuals, not all Rugers are up to the task. There are Vaqueros and Blackhawks built on the mid-size frames that would not hold together under these stresses, and then there are those that are built on the large frames. Make sure you get the latter if you want to use this powerful round. For ammo, expect to look at Underwood, Buffalo Bore, and Grizzly Cartridge Company. That, or you'll have to load it yourself. Given that there is some question about which revolver can handle this round, and the fact that ammo becomes even more limited than the standard 45 Colt loadings, the 45 Colt Plus P just couldn't make me put it any higher up on the list. Number 4. The 429 Desert Eagle. With extra velocity when compared to the venerable 44 Magnum, the 429 Desert Eagle is a cartridge that just begs to get out and do some hunting. Designed by Magnum Research for their Desert Eagle handgun, this powerhouse was released in 2018. They took the 50AE cartridge and necked it down to take a 44 caliber bullet. The result is a 240 grain bullet flying off at 1,625 feet per second. That will flatten your trajectory and hit game hard. The downsides to using this new round are unfortunately quite annoying, starting with your firearm options. It's only chambered in the Desert Eagle, which is heavy and cumbersome to carry into the field for hunting. And finding a gun in this caliber, or a barrel for the Desert Eagle you already have, isn't easy or cheap. And despite being SAMI certified, Magnum Research is currently the only company making ammo for it. There are two options, a 240 grain jacketed soft point at 1,625 feet per second, and a 210 grain jacketed hollow point at 1,750 feet per second. Anything else requires reloading, and you'll have to get your brass from MRI as well. Oh well, at least it uses normal 44 caliber bullets, which are easy to find. While the performance of this cartridge is plenty for medium game, it's still new and hasn't become a popular round yet, which creates issues. Still, if I wanted to hunt with a Desert Eagle, this is the round I would choose. Being limited to MRI for a Desert Eagle pistol, for the ammo, and even for the brass, keeps this round at number 4. Number 3. The 480 Ruger. This is hands down the most powerful cartridge on this list. But power isn't everything. The 480 Ruger is essentially a shorter version of the 475 line ball with a little less pressure. And while the majority of factory loadings are below the cartridge's full power, they have plenty of potential for hunting medium-sized game. Hornady makes a .475-inch 325 grain XTP jacketed hollow point round that scoots along at 1,350 feet per second. And there are lots of strong loadings from Grizzly Cartridge Company and Buffalo Bore. Hell, the 410 grain wide flat-nose gas check bullet from Buffalo Bore traveling at 1,200 feet per second will take pretty much anything you can hunt. And with less recoil than the .454 Casull and the .475 Linebaugh, the recoil isn't as bad as many other powerhouse calibers. But outside of specialty ammo manufacturers and the one Hornady loading, ammo is scarce and even bullets are hard to find for reloading when compared to other calibers. Revolver options are somewhat limited too. There are the Ruger Super Redhawks and Ruger's distributor exclusive Super Blackhawks, which are the natural choices. Taurus made a Raging Bull in it for a while, so they can be had used, and you can also shoot the cartridge out of a .475 Linebaugh like the BFR or Freedom Arms Model 83. And there is always the custom option. But none of these are inexpensive or at every gun store you walk into. The good news is they are not overly heavy, and they're easy to carry and handle when the day comes to head out for the hunt. Despite the great power that will never leave you wanting for more, the .480 Ruger is a rare cartridge that can be hard to acquire for hunting, but if you get one, it won't let you down. Still, there are other options for medium game that I would prefer. Number 2. The .41 Remington Magnum. While the .41 Magnum is the least powerful caliber on this list, it is by no means lacking power. This cartridge can generate serious energy and can take any medium-sized game without batting an eye. In fact, it generates roughly 90% of the .44 Magnum's power while producing around 70% of the recoil. That's a pretty sweet trade-off. The .41 Magnum can shoot a 210 grain bullet at roughly 1,500 feet per second and even use heavier bullets like Buffalo Bore's 265 grain long wide-nose gas check at 1,350 feet per second. That's one spicy meatball. And it has a nice flat trajectory too. And while ammo for this round is not very common, most major manufacturers do produce ammunition for it, so you'll have many more options than the previous 3 entries. Rare, but still very attainable. Though this is definitely a reloader's round, and the .41 caliber bullets aren't easy to find compared to many others. What is really nice about this cartridge is that most major manufacturers currently offer something in it, or have in the past, making them locatable on the used market. Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Taurus, Freedom Arms, and others all have or have had models in this caliber, and they are pretty easy to carry and wield, making them very packable. While the .41 Magnum is not a common cartridge, and certainly not the most powerful, it is plenty powerful for the task at hand, and common enough for the average hunter to find what they want when it comes to ammo and handguns. And that makes it my solid number 2 choice. Number 1. Drumroll please. The .44 Remington Magnum. Let's face it, it had to be the .44 Magnum that would take the top spot on this list. While I know I included it on my list of overrated cartridges as I feel the general shooting public gives it too much credit, it is undoubtedly one of the best handgun hunting cartridges to ever hit the market. And when you look at all the elements that lead me to this decision, I think you'll see why I placed it here. The .44 Magnum is known for shooting a 240 grain bullet at up to 1,500 feet per second and can easily shoot heavier bullets at very potent velocities. The cartridge has plenty of power on tap to take most game period, and if you're a good shot and you choose your ammunition very carefully, you can go after big game with it. It has been used to hunt pretty much everything out there, though you will have to push the cartridge past its SAMI specs to take some of the larger game. Finding ammunition is cake. This cartridge has become so popular that I really can't think of an ammunition manufacturer that doesn't make something for it, and you can get everything from mild to wild that will suit your game and your personal preferences. Not to mention that many folks out there, myself included, find this to be a very accurate round even out to extended distances. Just ask the Silhouette crowd. And there is no shortage of options for handguns. Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Taurus, Colt, Freedom Arms, Magnum Research's BFR and Desert Eagle, and even the LAR Grizzly was chambered for it in their Mark IV. And finding a packable one for hunting is just as easy. The standard revolvers are pretty carryable, but there are lightweight options too, like Smith & Wesson's scandium-framed 329 PD. When it comes to hunting medium game, the .44 Magnum really is the king of the hill, and you can even use it to hunt large game too. With all of the ammunition and handgun options, there should be a viable choice for every hunter out there, and if I decide to get a tag for deer, it would be my choice. So let's recap that list before we go. Number 5, the .45 Colt Plus P. If you can find a solid revolver, this round will be a powerful hunter. Number 4, the .429 Desert Eagle, a great round that is only hindered by its rarity and heavy platform. Number 3, the .480 Ruger, a rare but powerful choice for your hunting endeavors. Number 2, the .41 Remington Magnum, unpopular but amazing like the nerdy hot chick in high school. And number 1, the .44 Magnum, powerful, practical, and packable. This is the gold standard by which other handgun hunting cartridges are measured. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the list. Do you agree with the choices I made? What would you choose to hunt medium game with? Please share your choices in the comments below, as this is a subject that is very open to different opinions, and I want to hear them. If you like what you saw, please click like and subscribe for more content, as it really helps the channel. If you didn't enjoy the video, thanks for giving us a chance. We really appreciate it. And as always, go big bore or go home. Despite the great power that will never leave you wanting for more, the .480 Ruger is a rare cartridge that can be hard to acquire.